Good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing awesome. Yes, great. So, with that, I would now like to formally invite you all. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session on high performance routine and habits. Now, when you look at this title, high performance routine and habits, you must be wondering how is this different from a typical routine or the generic habits that we have, right? So, high performance simply means that whatever standard expectations that you have of yourself or other people have of you, you are kind of exceeding those standard norms, those standard expectations, right? So when you consistently keep breaking the norms, you consistently keep breaking the expectations and get better and better. That is what high performance means. So typically, people who are high performers, they do a lot more work. They are a lot more successful, but a lot less stressed because they are great planners. They are super with their productivity, right? High performers, no matter how many obstacles, they also get tensed, but less tensed, and they love to, kind of work with challenges, and they are more confident that despite whatever challenges come my way, I will find a solution to this. So they are normal human beings, just like you and me. In fact, some of us are high performers here, and the others will become high performers after today's session. But they also go through issues, they go through obstacles. But the fact is that they love challenges, and they feel that if I kind of, get past this challenge, I will be a much better person. I will learn a lot, and I'll be a lot more sharper, right? So what do high performers really do? They focus a lot on habits. So they go ahead and they keep doing something again and again and again. Like repetition is the key, as we say, right? They keep doing these things again and again, as if they have become a part of them. Like, let's take a very simple example. I think you and I are very successful when it comes to waking up in the morning, at whatever time. The fact is that we are successful, that we are waking up around the same time that we usually wake up at. So let's say if you are usually wake up around 9 o'clock, you tend to wake up around 9:30, quarter to 9ish every day, right? Same way you and I are successful when it comes to waking up and brushing our teeth, right? It's almost automatic. But earlier, when we were getting into the habit of brushing our teeth, we must be really tiny, and our parents must be forcing us. They must be putting the habit in us to brush our teeth. Same way, earlier probably the sleep patterns might have been erratic. But once you understood that, yes, this is my sleeping time, and when I sleep at this time, this is the time I wake up at, it has almost become automatic. Same way, let's say if you're watching a movie, or you're watching a series, let's say you're watching something on Netflix. Probably it's a habit for you to finish one episode come what may. Or some of you may have a thing of, I will have to watch three episodes, only then will I feel comfortable. So those are habits, they are automated now. Now, the good part is that there are good habits, and the bad part is that, yes, there are bad habits as well, which are automatic, and we need to break that in order to be a high performer, right? So when you have to deliberately create good habits and deliberately delete the bad habits, it does not come easily. But just like athletes, no matter how many issues, no matter how flexible they are or not, no matter how much pain they have to go through, they don't stop training, they never quit training, right? So same way, high performers, consciously, they kind of strengthen their habits, and they condition their mind that, I got to achieve this goal. And in order for me to achieve this goal, I cannot achieve it today the way I am. I need to change certain things about me. Only then will I be able to achieve those goals. So, for example, I'll give you a very simple example so that all of you can kind of, resonate with me. Let's say you want to, become really good at waking up early. Okay, you say that, hey, I want to wake up at 6 every morning because I feel I can do really good on my studies when I wake up at 6. And you have a habit of drinking caffeine, you have a habit of drinking coffee at, let's say, 12 in the night. Then obviously this version of you who drinks coffee at 12 in the night is not capable of waking up at 6. So you need to change the version that you are in, become a better version who is capable of waking up at 6. So obviously, if you're used to drinking a coffee at 12, you'll say, okay, in order to wake up at 6, I need to change this. Let me start having my coffee at 6 p.m., right? So you need to be able to achieve the goal by changing certain habits. And these are deliberate habits. You have to consciously do them. You have to choose the habits. And if you keep doing it again and again, that's why it's called a habit, right? So that's a high performer. What I explained to you right now are nothing but characteristics of a high performer. So what are the high performance habits? Typically, we all love to talk numbers, right? We all love metrics, but a metric is also needed when you're forming habits. And the metric could be something like, how often did I do this, right? How often did I demonstrate courage? How often did I generate energy? all of that all of that is what a high performer does. So these are the 6 high performance habits. These are the 6 things that a high performer does. Always demonstrates courage to get out of comfort zone, right? Increase productivity, will always try ways to increase his or her productivity levels. Will generate energy, the work that they do should give them more energy and not put them down. Many a times we don't enjoy doing certain tasks, like uh, doing assignments, projects, or studying certain subjects. And what happens when you do things which you don't like, they kind of pull down your energy instead of generating more energy in a positive way. I'm saying, instead of generating more positive energy. So high performer always looks at the tasks and tries to evaluate which tasks should I do more that will generate more positive energy, right? A high performer will always have the habit of seeking clarity. He or she would be a person who would have a lot of workflows. They'll draw things out, they'll have flow charts, they'll use like a lot of mind maps to get clarity. They'll keep asking a lot of questions to get the right answers and be clear. Same way, they will always raise necessity. So they, each time they're given a task, they will always check, is this really necessary? Do I really need to do it, or can I do it later and let my day be consumed with more necessary tasks? So they just won't have a to-do list, and they won't just keep ticking on the to-do list randomly. They will always have a plan that whichever things are necessary, I will do that first, right? And they are such people that they develop influence. Other people actually go ahead and take inspiration from them. So these are the 6 habits of high performers. Now let's understand, what does a high performer do in order to actually increase productivity, because this is a main part of being a high performer. So a high performer follows a 90-90-1 rule, 90/90/1. So, if you want to be a high performer, you want to 100x your productivity, you need to do one thing every day that will change the way you operate. So, how are you going to do that? Just follow the 90-90-1 rule, which says that for the next 90 days, you're going to focus the first 90 minutes of your day on just one thing that will change the game. Now, when I say change the game, I mean, anything that can change the way your day is going, anything that can help you to achieve better and faster, right? So let's take one example. Usually, when we wake up, we have a habit of quickly checking our mobiles, putting on the Wi-Fi, checking our mobiles, and seeing um, whether some important texts have come, because you've not checked your phone since 8-9 hours, and we get consumed by it. We keep scrolling, we check multiple other apps, and 1.5 hour is just gone there, right? Now, this is setting the tone for the rest of your day. You've already wasted 1.5 hour there. You took another half an hour to freshen up, have your chai, coffee, then you'll go have breakfast. So the main part of the day is already gone. Instead, for the next 90 days, focus on every day, 90 minutes, one thing that you will do to change your game. So let's do one thing. I'll give you 1 minute's time. For tomorrow, Write down what is that one thing you will do in the first 90 minutes, which will help you to kind of win the day. I'm sure you have a lot of assignments, projects, and a lot of things happening in your life. So I just want you to plan what is that first 90 minutes going to look like tomorrow morning. And when I say first 90 minutes, I don't mean including waking up time, brushing time. I just mean work time. The first 90 minutes of your work slash your study, what is that one task that you're going to do? The key to success is being specific, is being clear. Many a times people say, I have a habit of procrastinating. Actually, it's not a habit of procrastinating that you have. It is the lack of clarity that you have. If you have clarity, then procrastination will not happen. What I meant to say was, after your routine, I'm talking work wise, work slash study slash assignment wise, what's the one task you're going to do? When you're not specific, you are confused. Right? So you need to be very specific, learning concept from which chapter, which subject. Yeah. Okay. So that is your first 90 minutes. Next is have tight bubbles of total focus. What this means is that you need to set up a distraction free, minimalistic environment and be very hard to reach. So by this, I want you to have the attitude that you have a very, very, very important meeting with yourself. Okay. And in that meeting, you have to do that 90 minutes task, which you just told me. And of course, if you have, think of it this way, if you have a very important interview, don't you go and tell your family members at this time to this time tomorrow, I have an interview, please don't disturb me. If you need me to do any help, if you want me to help you in any way, please let me know today itself. And please don't come in this room when I am actually going ahead and giving that interview, because it will distract me. Right? That's what you will go and tell your family members, right? So same way, from now on, you are going to tell your family members that this time to this time, I have a very important task. I would request you to either meet me before this task or after this task. And I do understand we all have space constraints, including me. We have family members who share the rooms with us. So in that case, you can step out of your home and do it or do your work. The idea is to be distraction free, not to use your mobile when you are doing that work, right? You have to be very hard to reach. It's not like your friend says, hey, it's Sunday, let's catch up, and you pick up the call that time. No, you're working right now. It's an important meeting. Treat it like an interview. Would you pick up a friend's call when an interview is going on? I hope not, right? So same way, when you are focusing on the first 90 minutes, and not just 90 minutes, even later throughout the day, think as if these are multiple important meetings that you have in the day. And in these important meetings, you can't answer phone calls, right? You just have to have that attitude. So obviously your mobile would be on silent mode, or if you want to put it on airplane, I leave it up to you. But the point is to not be available when the meeting is on. All right. So that's tight bubbles of total focus. Next, choose your peer group very, very, very wisely, because there's a saying that you are the average of 5 people you interact with. What does that mean? Is that the 5 people that I mostly hang out with, I will become like them. So choose your 5 people, the 5 people whom you spend your maximum time with very, very closely. Okay. These people could be your mentors on the internet. Like, for example, if you really love some influencer, some person who teaches really good stuff about your industry, spend more time watching his or her videos, reading more of his or her articles. If you have a friend who is really, really smart, and you wish to become like that friend, spend more time with that friend, right? So 5 people in your life who are the closest, and when I say closest, I mean not relationship wise, I mean the time you spend with them. These people decide how you are going to be in the future, right? So if you're going to spend time with people who are victims, who feel bad about themselves and say life is so unfair, I can't achieve anything, everything is destiny, and those kind of things, then you are going to become like them, right? So if you're going to be around mediocre people, you will also start behaving like them. And when I say mediocre, I mean in their thinking, in their goals. So if they are mediocre performers, subconsciously, you will also start behaving like them. You will pick up their emotions. You will pick up the things that they do, and you will become just like them. So I hope that the 5 people that you are with, they are sensible people. If not, today you know that you don't have to be much with them. You have to spend majority of your time with high performers, not mediocre performers, right? Next, in fact, before going to the next point, I would just want to go back to the second point, which is tight bubbles of total focus. So I forgot to mention a point out there, that each time you lose your focus, let's say you are working right now and your phone rang and you got distracted by it. Each time you lose your focus, it takes 21 minutes to refocus your focus. So imagine you've already decided that this thing I'm going to work for 1.5 hours. Okay, you've given a time slot that this time to this time I'm going to work on this. Your phone rings, you get distracted. Now to come back to that same level of productivity will take you 21 minutes. So it's safe not to get distracted. And how to eliminate distraction? I think the biggest distraction is this. So keep it on silent and keep it away from you when you're doing important tasks. Yeah. In fact, even for what do you call, um, uh, just to give you like a number, like yesterday, the other day when we met, a few days back when we met, I remember telling you that as per research, and I think even as per my experience, I completely agree that we spend just 2.5 hours every day being productive. And guess what? We spend 2.1 hours every day in distraction, or even more. I'm giving you like a minimum number. So we all are addicted to distractions. We easily spend minimum 2 hours every day in distractions. Do you want a proof? Do you want a proof? Do you want a proof? Let's do one thing. Can you go to your mobile phone and go to settings and search for digital well-being? Can you go to your mobile phone, go to settings and search for digital well-being? Okay. If you don't understand something, then I will say that in Hindi. Otherwise, would prefer that we all get used to this language. But yes, if there's any question, I will definitely answer that in Hindi. Yes, please can we go to digital well-being? Okay, I'm doing it with you. Okay, so you can just search for digital well-being and click on it. Yeah, I can see the numbers, 3 hours, 16 minutes. Now, there will be a circle which will say the number of times how many hours you spent on your phone. So today I've spent 1 hour, 3 minutes, and I've unlocked my phone 50 times, 50. Can you beat that? I woke up today, I think at around 6:30 or something, 6:30, quarter to 7. And since then, I've unlocked my phone 50 times despite being at work, like despite having online sessions. So you can see that when you have a number, you know that tomorrow I have to take efforts to be better. Tomorrow I can't spend 1 hour 50, 1 hour 3 minutes. Tomorrow I have to reduce it to, let's say, 50 minutes. And slowly, slowly you will try to reduce things, right? And same way, I want you to focus on which app takes the most time. I do understand sometimes you watch online sessions through your mobile phone, but apart from those logins for studies, where else are you spending time? Like, funnily for me today, I have spent maximum time on Amazon, which is 14 minutes. My maximum time is 14 minutes. And my second maximum time is on WhatsApp today for 9 minutes. Okay. So you can see this. And apart from this, now I want to tell you how to eliminate some distractions through your mobile phone. Okay. What you can do is you can click on focus mode. Focus mode. So let me just stop sharing the screen for a moment so that you can hopefully see my camera, my mobile better. And now you can select all the distracting apps. Like, let's say for me, Facebook is distracting. let's say Instagram is distracting. So I'm just taking two examples for now. Same way you have to kind of check all the distracting apps, and then you set a schedule. Okay, so set a schedule means from what time to what time can you access the app. Same way, if you want, you can turn on the schedule from this time to this time only the app will be on. Or another way is you can click on dashboard here. Okay, when you click on dashboard, this is a better option actually. You can set timers. Timers means once I finish 10 minutes on the app is shut for the day. I cannot use the app again. Okay, so let's say like Amazon has wasted a majority of my time today. I can just put a timer and I can just select how much time can I spend on Amazon. So I will put just 5 minutes. Okay, so I've put 5 minutes and I'll click on OK. Now Amazon has a timer. Now today, if I go to Amazon and I finish 5 minutes, the app will go off because my time it's hit the 5 minutes timer, right? So same way for other apps as well, you can put timers. Now don't worry, you can delete the timers, but I don't want you to delete it because the whole purpose goes off then, right? So I would really urge you to go ahead and use this app to your advantage so that you don't waste a single minute. Yes, sometimes it's okay to do time pass on apps, but not so much that it consumes 1 hour of the day, right? So my number also kind of went down when I became aware, right? Like earlier, my number would be 2 hours 53 minutes. My unlocks would be 450. Can you beat that? Today it's come to a 50, and I'm still trying to bring it lower and lower. There have been days, kid you not, there have been days when I have used my phone just for 30 minutes, and those days have been such wow days because I've been at like my productive best, right? So I'm not saying your aim should be 30 minutes. We will get there as well. That's my aim, that permanently I should be around 30. But at least you can start by reducing 10% and give yourself some time. Like, let's say if you are at 5 hours today, tell yourself that by in the next 7 days, I should come down, by 10%. And I should, so what is 10%? So 6 5s are 300. So instead of 300 minutes, I would now want to spend, say, how much is it? 270 minutes. Yes, reducing 10%. So that's how you give yourself some challenges and get better and better. And of course, you can reward yourself for this. When you see that consistently for 7 days, I've been able to hit the target, you reward yourself in whatever way. Okay. And of course, while rewards are good, you should also have punishments. So you can punish yourself by saying that I have been crossing the targets. Crossing as in I have not been hitting the targets. So this week, I'm going to uninstall so and so apps, and I'm not going to use them for the entire week, right? So these are ways in which you can 100x your productivity. Next way is that minimalism. So there's a saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'll challenge you. Go and open your wardrobe, your cupboard. Okay. The way your cupboard is today, there will be at least 2 more things that are in the same state. Okay, if your clothes are all messed up, rolled up, then maybe your study also is messy, and maybe your shoes also are kept in a messy way, or maybe even your wallet is messy, right? So they say how you do one thing is how you do everything, because that becomes a way of life. But same way, if your wardrobe is clean, there's a very, very, very high chance that your mobile is also clean. You have less of unread messages in your inbox, and maybe your study is also clean, right? So I'm not saying 100% it will be right, but if you're doing one thing a particular way, there's a guarantee that 2 other things are going in a similar fashion in your life. Yeah, it starts with a wallet. You get a lot of idea about a person by looking at his or her wallet. Not necessarily that the wallet needs to have money, but how you keep the wallet speaks volumes about the person. Same way, the kind of shoes the person wears, nothing to do with branded shoes, expensive shoes, but the way the shoe is looking, clean, not clean, speaks again about how the person does many things, right? So the key is minimalism. Fill your house with lesser things, remove the mess, declutter. Kind of fill your goals with lesser projects. You don't have to do like hundreds of projects. You can just pick your top 5 and do them really well and add them to your portfolio, right? Focus that your day has lesser tasks but meaningful tasks. There's no point in saying, oh God, I'm so busy. I have 23 things in my to do list. Big deal. You're just being busy. The question is, are you being productive as well? If you're being productive with 23 tasks, then really it is a commendable thing, right? So fill your days with lesser tasks and fewer priorities. You don't want everything to be like 23 tasks, 23 top priorities. Then you're gone. I mean, then you won't be able to achieve a single thing because you'll be really overwhelmed, right? So these are ways to kind of 100x your productivity. Now let's take an example of what a high performer's routine looks like. Okay, so if you want, you may just go ahead and replicate the same routine. So first thing, a high performer will wake up, and if you're having trouble waking up, we've discussed this, we can use Alarmy. Next, you wake up and then you make your bed because you don't want your bed to be messy. You're setting the tone for the day, remember. Then you can have water. You can just keep a glass of water next to you. And then you have a good state of mind. So if needed, you can plug on your earplugs. You can listen to some nice music, which is soothing and which is waking you up in a calm manner, not some dhinchak music, which is like, what do you call, which doesn't set the tone right, right? Like, for example, there is this, I think I've mentioned it to you, but I would want to say it again. There is this piece of music that I listen on YouTube Music, called Om Soham by Meditative Mind. So that is something that I do on a daily basis. I listen to that piece of music on a daily basis while I'm just sitting in my silence, just by nature, sitting by my window, and what do you call? I'm just kind of bringing in that right positive vibe within, right? I will plug in my earphones and start visualization meditation. Absolutely. You have to get into the right state of mind. If you want, start with yoga as well. There's nothing wrong. I mean, it totally depends on what gets you in the right state. You don't want to wake up and be all sleepy, groggy, and then say, oh, I have to work. You won't be able to, what do you call, work in the right manner if, you're not in the right state of mind. Okay, so once this is done, now you're preparing for the day. You brush, you freshen up, you go ahead and you do your yoga, morning walk. You walk on the grass bare feet. You take a bath, you get ready, you prepare your chai, coffee, and you set your desk right. You clean up your desk and clear all the clutter. So when I say clutter, sometimes maybe your desk is very clean, but it has like a lot of books, it has like a lot of learning material that can also cause a lot of overwhelm. So my suggestion would always be that whatever you need, whatever stuff you need for this task that you want to do right now, only keep that stuff. The remaining stuff should be away. Because, like, let's say if I have to do a task right now and I have to do another task at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and those things are kept there, then I'll get distracted looking at those things, right? So my environment needs to be such that it's preparing me to work only on my current task, nothing else. Yeah. So next is deep work. So now you've prepared, you've started your, you've done your morning walk and so on, and now your savers also slowly are happening. If you notice, you're already kind of getting into you're by default doing savers. You're raising your state. It could be in silence or it could be in music. You're going ahead, you're doing your exercise, you're going ahead and you're doing your scribing. So you're automatically doing savers also, right? So phase 3 is now you're preparing for super deep work, where you are scribing, you are looking at your day's tasks, and you know what you have to do. You're just ready to start. And here is where you are distraction free. Your phone is away from you, and there are no distractions even in your environment. Even you've told your family that think of it as if it's a very important meeting, please do not disturb me, and then you start working, right? Now when you are in deep work, the environment matters a lot. There is a saying which I absolutely love: your environment is stronger than your willpower. I'll repeat it for you. Your environment is stronger than your willpower, which basically means no matter how motivated, dedicated I am, I'm really gung ho about achieving a goal. But if my environment is not fine, then I'm not going to achieve it. And environment includes everything, like what my family members are speaking about me, if they are putting me down, if there's jealousy in me, if my desk is not clear, all of that is my environment. It's my system, right? So if the way of working, the environment, the system is not proper, then I won't achieve my goals, no matter how strongly I want to achieve them. Okay. So environment needs to be fine, and system means the way of working. You need to be systematic, that this is task one, I will spend so much time on it. You can follow the Pomodoro technique: 25 minutes focused work, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes focused work, 15 minutes break, right? And this is a system that you create, and then you can go ahead and achieve your goals. Okay. Next is now system also, your environment or system also includes these things like not keeping junk food around you when you're working, right? A lot of times in offices you see that people have drawers where they keep their stuff. The drawers are filled with Lay's, Pepsi. In some companies, alcohol also is allowed, right? So when you are working, you don't want to consume junk food, because yes, while it is salty, sugary, it gives you a very temporary high, and of course over a period of time it affects your weight levels as well. Next, another example is that if you're looking to create a system or an environment, then don't you think if you're somebody who's lazy, who does not like working out, don't you think if the shoes are kept next to your bed, like let's say tomorrow morning you've decided to go to the gym, let's say tonight itself you keep the shoes, don't you think the chances of you hitting the gym are much higher because the shoes are kept right there? Yeah, so you have to create, you have to tweak, change, you have to kind of tweak your environment to get you motivated. Like I'll give you one more example. If you're somebody who drinks very little water, okay, this is something that I learned from one of my relatives. She had a huge house, 3 floors, okay, and the problem was, because it was 3 floors, the kitchen was on the ground floor, and the water consumption was very less because people would feel lazy to come down again and again to sip water. So what she did was she actually bought a lot of those water coolers. You call matkas, right? We know matka, earthen pots. She bought a lot of them and she put them everywhere in her house. And every morning, as a ritual, she would fill up those coolers. She had around 7, 8 coolers in the entire house. So wherever she was in the house, she would always see a water cooler next to her and drink water, right? So that's another way. If you're somebody who drinks less water, then you start keeping water bottles around your house so that you consume more water. And that's something that I do. You'll always have find 4, 5 bottles in my house which are close to me, because I have a similar issue that I forget to drink water because I'm so involved in my work, right? But it's an important thing. So you need to find out how to tweak your environment. And same way, if you're somebody who wants to learn, but you keep forgetting, always keep that learning tab open, that one article, that one YouTube video tab open, or bookmark it, and your bookmark bar is visible, so that you can go ahead and just click on that tab and start watching whatever you want to watch, right? So those are some ways in which you can tweak your environment. Now, next thing that I want to talk to you about is, what are some online productivity tools that you can use? So there are a bunch of tools. I'm not saying use I'm sorry, I'm not saying use all the tools, because when you use too many tools, that in itself can become a distraction. Just pick 1 to 2 tools which work for you and start using them. Okay. So, for example, for me, my go to tool is a simple Google Drive. I like saving everything in Google Drive, and my calendar, everything is synced over here. So, whenever I have to see my schedule, all I need to do is go to my calendar, and the entire schedule is fixed up there, right? So I'm a person who just uses these two, to be honest. I have used Dabble in the past, but then again, I'm trying to have a minimalistic lifestyle, right? I'm trying to minimize everything, and that's how I just stuck to 2 simple tools. Okay. What Dabble does is, Let me just do one thing. Let me just share my screen and show you the tabs because I've kept them open. Just 1 second. So this is what Dabble does. Dabble is like your private journal where you go ahead. So if you're somebody who does not like writing with a pen and paper, you can have your digital journal where you can just go ahead and write your thoughts. And Dabble sends you an email of it. You can just reply to that email and put more thoughts, and it will automatically get stored in Dabble. In fact, Dabble also reminds you of some articles that you've written in the past, that 1 year ago you wrote this, and so on. Okay, so this is like a private journal. Same like Dabble, you also have Penzu, which is like your digital journal. So instead of actually writing things down, or instead of using Evernote, you can have a journal. And then you also have a tool called Pumble. It is very similar to Slack. I'm not sure if you've heard of Slack, but Slack is great for teams where you have different threads for different topics that you talk on. So threads are simply like let's say we are studying subject A, subject B, subject C. So instead of talking about all the three subjects in the same WhatsApp group, you can create different threads for different subjects. Like let's say if you want to talk about design, you come to the design thread and talk about it. If you want to talk about let's say general stuff, you can put it in the general thread. If you want to talk about project B, then you come to project B and kind of put there. And these are, you can also send direct messages to your team members. So this is a fantastic tool. In fact, I use Slack and it's very, very similar to Slack. If you want for your teams, like if you have the same team, not necessarily the same team, if you have multiple teams for multiple projects, please go ahead and use Pumble or Slack. They are fantastic. Next tool is Clockify. So Clockify is again a good tool when it comes to tracking time. So how it works is it has like a lot of features. It has got a lot of reporting work. You can track time, like you can literally block time, that this time to this time I'll be doing this. And then you can keep the time tracker on to see how much time did you actually spend on that particular project. And you can categorize your tasks as well. So it's a great all-in-one tool for time management. You can look at this tool as well. Right, so these are a bunch of tools which are suggested. In fact, there's one more tool which I do use. It's called Daily Check. Okay, so let me just show you that tool as well. So it's actually an app. It's a mobile app. So as I told you, I'm moving towards minimalism, so I don't use too much. But if you're looking for one app, I would suggest this app. Okay, so this app is it's more like it's an app, and you get a widget. Okay, so you have the widget on your mobile screen, and it keeps telling you about the upcoming tasks. So if you look over here, this is how it will look on your screen. So these are your to-dos, and whatever you're done, it just keeps striking out. And over here, the good days, the bad days, how much, based on how much you've achieved. And this is the widget. This is how it comes on your mobile screen. What all is upcoming for the day, everything comes up here. And of course, you have like graphs just to check how good you have been doing on your tasks. So this is a good app if you're looking for some sort of, motivation, some sort of metric to see how well you are doing. Okay. Of course, you can also put some nice messages for your own self. You can record some, you can have some audio recordings as well, where you're sending good motivational messages to yourself as well. All right. So these are some cool tools which you should use. But again, I just want to say, don't get overwhelmed by a lot of tools. Sometimes too many tools actually make you less productive. Pick your top 1, top 2 tools and use them. All right. So while we are on the conclusion slide, I would still want to kind of talk to you a little bit about nighttime routine as well. But so far, if I have to kind of recap, a high performer would always focus on going beyond the standard expectations and would be consistent, would want to do things in the long term. And how to do things in the long term? They do it by forming habits, by forming routines that can help them achieve and perform better and better. And what are these routines? What are these habits? Having a good morning routine, having a good deep work routine, and also having a nighttime routine. Now, nighttime routine is something that's not covered in the slides, but I would like to briefly talk to you about it. So remember that, I mean, I just want to go by this quote that if you're failing to plan, then you're planning to fail. We've all heard of this quote, right? So bedtime routine, most of the people don't have. They are busy on their laptops, on their TV screens, on their phones, and they just end the day that way. They don't really have a good way of ending their day. But a good way of ending the day would be to plan your tomorrow, right? So it would be like setting your goals, setting your top priorities for tomorrow. And how do you actually go about forming this night routine? So first of all, stay away from all your digital. And I know you've heard this, but I just want to repeat it so that you remember to do it. Clear all your distractions. Stay away from any digital device at least 1 hour before going to sleep. And so basically, what I'm trying to say is no screens before you go to sleep. Ensure that your room or the space that you're in is neat, clean, it's organized. And we discussed this, right? When you wake up in the morning, you should drink a glass of water. So you have to keep that glass of water next to you before sleeping. If you're somebody who's lazy, then you can create an environment where your running shoes are there, or your diary is there, where tomorrow morning when you get up, you can just pick it up and start writing your gratitude journal as well. Or if you want, you can end the day by writing your journal. It's up to you. Okay. I'm sorry, it's completely up to you how you want to do it. Personally, what I do is daytime, I do my scribing, and nighttime, as I told you, I have accountability partners. So I just message them the 3 things that went amazing today, the 3 things that I'm grateful for. So you can, kind of, if you want, either talk to your accountability friends about it through a WhatsApp group, or you can even journal it, the 5 magical things that happened to you today, and plan your tomorrow and the goal for tomorrow. And not just for tomorrow, I would say every Sunday, plan your entire week. Like tonight, you could actually go ahead and plan the entire week and keep some buffer time, because as we know, there are some tasks that come up last minute. So it should not be that your schedule is so jam packed that you cannot fit in more work. So deliberately keep 2 hours, 3 hours free in the day, so that if some ad hoc work comes in, you can still accommodate it, right? So this is what your nighttime routine should look like. No screen time, at least 1 hour prior. Organizing your room and setting the things which will motivate you tomorrow morning. Keeping your bottle of water or your water glass next to you, and talking about the top 3, top 5 things that went really good today, and having gratitude for it, right? So yeah, that's a nice night routine that you can have. And apart from this, I would also like to share a very quick mind map that I made. So just give me a moment. I'll just walk you through some really nice points in a mind map. So these are the 5 rituals that can predict success in your life. So each of these rituals requires consistency, because consistency is the mother of mastery. When you are consistent in your work, you become a master of your work. So the first thing that predicts your success is rising on time, using your savers, using your journal, referring to your goals. The second ritual is strategic time blocking, which mainly means that you need to schedule your things. And one second, we just zoom in a bit. Yeah, you need to schedule things, and when you schedule things, then obviously, because it's on paper, it will get done. And we just spoke about this: plan your entire week every Sunday, write it down, because that's your blueprint for a beautiful week ahead. And if you have vague goals, like for example, tomorrow I'll learn this, but you've not mentioned what you learn, then it's a vague goal. A vague goal will always lead to vague results. So be crystal clear, be very specific. What is it that you're trying to achieve? And always have the ritual of over delivering. Go that extra mile, because when you go that extra mile, you become a better person, you grow, and you learn a lot more. And in some cases, you kind of become indispensable also. People love your work so much that they don't want to hire anyone else for that work. Next is a 60-minute student. So be a learner, be a lifelong learner. Every day, invest 60 minutes in learning in any form. It could be an audiobook, a podcast, reading, but do it. Or even watching Trinity courses for that matter, right? The idea is 60 minutes a day. I do 2 hours a day. I spend 120 minutes learning something new every single day. And when you do this, of course, you learn more about your field, and not necessarily only technical things. Your field also requires you to have people management skills, how to manage teams, how to communicate effectively. All these things will affect your job role, right? Will affect your career. So you need to be aware of those things as well. Next, you should have the ritual of private reflection, which means that spending those 10-15 minutes in silence, in solitude, being still, and in fact, I would even delete this. I wouldn't say just thinking. I would just say just not thinking, right? Like we all have tensions, we all have stresses, but for those 15 minutes, you tell yourself that I don't want to think about it, not because I want to escape it, but right now when I'm calm, when I'm not thinking about it, I will still get better ideas, because the more I think about it, the higher the chances that I may not get the ideas. Many a times when we are not thinking about something, the answers start coming, right? And the last thing that I want to leave you with is that ideation without execution is nothing more than delusion. So what this means is only planning, only having ideas, but not executing, not doing anything is nothing short than delusion, right? You're just in a world where things are not happening. No point of an idea if you can't execute it. So always have plans, and plans also that lead to execution. Yeah. So looks like we are all done. We are all sorted. Great. So with that, we'll call it a day. Hope you start using all the tips that have been shared in today's session. And I'm looking forward to hearing a lot of success stories from you. With that thought in mind, I would now like to end this session. This is your coach, Riya Punjabi, signing off. See you again very soon. Bye bye.